Trump continues to face resistance from Tehran's leadership as he escalates threats of military action against Iran. His latest warnings have reignited discussions about the possibility of Iran abandoning its commitment to nuclear non-proliferation. Senior White House officials have reiterated demands for Iran to completely dismantle its nuclear program, including halting all uranium enrichment, even at minimal levels. Meanwhile, as the U.S. carries out intense airstrikes in Yemen, Trump has declared that Washington will hold Tehran accountable for any attacks by Yemen's Houthis, dismissing Iran's claims that the group operates independently. These developments have only fueled growing calls within Iran to reconsider its official stance against pursuing nuclear weapons. On Tuesday, the ultra-conservative daily Vataneh Emrouz marked the approaching end of the Iranian year on March 20th with a stark warning, suggesting that Trump's policies are pushing more countries to consider nuclear weapons for their security. Its front-page headline, "Nuclear Year," was accompanied by an image of a massive nuclear explosion. Meanwhile, Noor News, a publication linked to Iran's Supreme National Security Council, cautioned that if Trump and his team continue their threats, there will be no guarantees that Iran will remain in the Non-Proliferation Treaty, NPT. Ahmad Naderi, a member of Iran's parliamentary presiding board, suggested in a public session last week that it may be time to rethink our nuclear, military, and security doctrine. The Tehran lawmaker has previously advocated for testing intercontinental ballistic missiles capable of carrying nuclear warheads, arguing that Iran must acquire a bomb to establish regional balance. Support for such calls has been growing among Iran's hardline factions, reinforcing the idea that the country could move toward developing a nuclear weapon if its survival is at stake. Last week, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei, whose religious decree currently forbids Iran from pursuing weapons of mass destruction, addressed the issue directly. If we wanted to build nuclear weapons, America could not stop us. The reason we do not have them and are not pursuing them is simply that we do not want them, Khamenei stated. Meanwhile, the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, which monitors Iran's nuclear activities, reports that while the country has accumulated enough fissile material for multiple bombs, it has not taken steps to construct one. Since Trump's unilateral withdrawal from Iran's nuclear deal in 2018, Washington's European allies have taken an increasingly hardline stance on Tehran's nuclear program. Despite no prospects of sanctions relief, they have pressured Iran to curb its nuclear progress, introduced censure resolutions at the Global Nuclear Watchdog's board, and demanded further explanations on several nuclear-related cases, some dating back 2 decades. Ongoing tensions over Iran's cooperation with the IAEA, combined with European frustration over Tehran's growing ties with Moscow amid the Ukraine war, have pushed Iran to strengthen coordination with China and Russia. The 3 nations have been holding talks in Beijing to present a more unified stance on the nuclear issue, particularly regarding sanctions. Meanwhile, France, Germany, and the United Kingdom, the European signatories still committed to the 2015 nuclear deal, continue to threaten the activation of its snapback mechanism to reinstate all UN sanctions on Iran, a move strongly opposed by China and Russia. The E3 have stated that they are pursuing the snapback mechanism due to concerns over Iran's use of advanced centrifuges to enrich uranium to high levels of purity, alleged violations of the nuclear agreement, and claims that Iran provided ballistic missiles to Russia. Iran has vehemently denied supplying missiles to Russia, asserting that it only sent drones to Russia months before the war began. This week, Iranian officials also held discussions with IAEA Director General Rafael Grossi. Iran objected to what it deemed unwarranted interference in its interactions with the IAEA after the United Nations Security Council held a meeting to discuss its nuclear program. In response, Iran's foreign ministry summoned the E3 ambassadors to protest what it called the misuse of the UNSC mechanism. On Tuesday, the White House reported that in a phone call, Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin agreed that Iran should never be in a position to destroy Israel. The U.S. president's warning that every shot fired by the Houthis in Yemen will be regarded as an attack from Iran has heightened tensions. In a post on his Truth Social platform, Trump claimed that Iran supplies so-called intelligence to the Houthis, which Iranian media and online sources have interpreted as a potential military threat against Iran's Zagros warship, which was launched in January. The Iranian army responded on Tuesday by rejecting online speculation that the Zagros had been struck by any projectiles, confirming that the warship was safely anchored at Bandar Abbas in Iran's southern waters. The Iranian-built vessel, the first large signals intelligence (SIGINT) ship in the Iranian military, has drawn Western speculation that it might aid the Houthis by providing them with critical operational data. Meanwhile, Telegram channels affiliated with Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps (IRGC) denied reports on Tuesday about the presence of any Iranian Navy ships in the Red Sea, Bab al-Mandeb Strait, or the Indian Ocean. This week, the Iranian currency continued its downward spiral. On Tuesday, the rial briefly crossed the psychological barrier of 1 million against the US dollar in the open market before regaining some ground today. Despite this, Trump has called for negotiations with Tehran under his maximum pressure policy and sent a letter to the Iranian Supreme Leader this week. While the contents of the letter have not been made public, it is believed to have once again presented Iran with a choice between engaging in talks or facing military action. Iran's foreign ministry spokesman, Esmail Baghaei, told reporters that the letter did not differ significantly from Trump's public remarks. He added that Iran, which has rejected talks under the maximum pressure approach, will respond only after a careful review.